How are you feeling?
I want to know how you're feeling.
I remember seeing a post, I think it was on Instagram, where it says, when a woman is upset, even the devil takes notes. Because Josh, I think this is staged. I think the kiss between Josh and Grace, the producers drove that kiss, and he tried to sort of hint to Mimii that it's not my fault, because he actually walked up to Mimii and held her and said, I'm sorry. And then he went and kissed Grace. So I don't know whether he was apologizing because the producers made him kiss Grace or whatever happened, and he had to say a speech to that effect. Because after he did that, Mimii thought, okay, if you're going to go low, I'm going to go to the gutser, Oh my God. I hate how people are overreacting. People should actually sit down and actually watch this show and analyze, and you'll actually see that this whole four-way is producer driven. It's producer driven. It's not something that these people want to do, because if we had seen Mimii in bed with Josh after that crawling across the terrace, you'd have seen them make out, which tells you that they are being told what to do, because the producers cannot fathom that she's in this relationship. She's managed to have a second go round and managed to find an amazing relationship. So they're going to portray her as a desperate woman who's still trying to get back with her ex. Anyway, I digress. I had to rant for a bit. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 11, Episode 37. I'm really going to try not to get too emotional in this episode. I really want to be analytical, because I think people are over-exaggerating what's happening, and it shouldn't be, really. Anyway, the islanders wake up, and you have Ayo sort of teasing Josh about them winning the challenge the day before. Everybody else is still, in their feelings. There's a semi-debrief. I don't get that click, the Grace, Jessie with a Y and Jess S. I don't get that click. I don't get what they understand each other on. Anyway, they have a conversation about their coupling. Obviously, Jessie feels she's in a good place with Ayo, and she's really not fazed by what Sean is saying. And in my opinion, Sean is not coming from a place of love. Sean is coming from a place of math, if you understand what I mean, because he's done the calculation. There will be a top three. Joey Essex is going to come with his fan base, so chances are he's highly likely to get into the top three. Nicole and Kieran are going to come with the Welsh population, Welsh fan base, plus whoever else is supporting them. So their likelihood of getting into the top three is highly likely, which means there only needs to be one other couple. And Sean, in stirring this mess between Mimii, Ayo, Josh, and Jess S, he's already taking out the competition, because he knows if they all go out, the other two couples don't stand a chance against he and Matilda. So him telling her and continuing to sort of stir the pot about this connection is just him being messy, because he wants to make it to the top three. He's there for the game. He's not there for love, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, you have Grace talk about the fact that she feels some type of way about Joey. She feels like, chatting with him didn't make any difference, because it was still the same thing. And it's like, well, what did you expect? Jessie with a Y is complaining that why didn't Joey give her, a cup of coffee? This is the first time he hasn't made a cup of coffee, and it's like, well, stand up and make yourself one. Joey's in his feelings about the Grace situation, and it's like, this is getting old, let us move on. Or maybe let's not move on, let's focus on that and leave Mimii and Josh alone, please. You have Josh having a conversation with Ruben and sort of asking, oh, where did that kiss come from? And Ruben is like, I don't know. It was something we were holding on to. And I think she was trying to make a statement, Grace. I think she was trying to make a statement to Joey, because to show him that this is my type, this is what I like. Because it didn't make sense why she kissed, Ruben so passionately out of the blue, when the time they kissed in the den, she wasn't as enthusiastic. Anyway, Grace receives a message to say they're going to play Snog, Marry, Pie, and it's about to be a hot mess. It's about to be a hot mess. So the Islanders are playing Snog, Marry, Pie, and the boys are up first, so the girls are standing in line. Connor is the first one to go up. He kisses Lolly, which makes sense. He's in a couple with her. He marries Mimii. Surprisingly, because he's been one of the people that have been encouraging Ayo to go after Jess. Even when Mimii came and looked visibly upset after Casa, he still told Ayo, you followed your heart, you did what's best for you, and that's all. And so I'm surprised that suddenly he's changing his tune and he's decided to marry Mimii. But hey, it is what it is. The producers are messy, because they kept sort of turning the camera to Josh and Ayo. And surprisingly, Josh and Ayo, for people who they are giving us the impression that they don't get along, they're always together. And it's like, make it make sense. So why are they standing close to one another if they don't get along? Anyway, he decides to pie Grace because we all know Grace pied him when he came into the villa. Sean decides to kiss Matilda. He proposes to Nicole because he says Nicole has been amazing to his friend Kieran. And it's like, okay. He pies Jess S because Jess S had the gall to answer him and sort of put him in his tiny little box when he was trying to sort of go at her about Mimii. And Jess said, well, you weren't thinking about Matilda when we were in Casa, when you were switching from girl to girl, so please sit down. And he still wants to carry on about it. And it's like, you said it once. That's it. You don't need to continue to run around with this Mimii and Ayo have feelings. That has nothing to do with you unless you're being strategic and you're trying to cause havoc in the villa. That way the islanders are eliminated so that you can get to the final. So Kieran is up next. He kisses Nicole. Surprise, surprise, no. Marries Matilda. And then says, oh, you know, it's because of the way you're treating my boy. And it's like, well, you're just returning the favor to Sean. That's it. He decides to pie Lolly because apparently she pulled him, you know, for a chat when she knew he was closed off. Ruben decides to kiss Grace because he says he wants a repeat of the day before in the other challenge. He marries Mimii, which is not surprising. What I like about the brothers is they will always stand on business when it comes to Mimii. They don't mess about. Even in the kissing challenge, when the other guys were sort of downgrading her marks, the lowest she got was from Ayo, which was an 8.5. Connor gave a 6.5. I don't even know what he was on. But anyway, they will always stand on business when it comes to Mimii. They'll always make sure that she has the princess treatment, which I love. He pies Jessie with a Y. He says, because, you know, we've never spoken since we came into the villa. I think he was trying to say she was very dismissive when she came on the date and she realized, in my opinion, that the guys were black and she never looked back. And so maybe that's why he pied her. And then Joey kisses Nicole for reasons best known to him. It doesn't make any sense. He decides to marry Jessie with a Y because he says, you know, you need a man and I'm the man for you. And it's like, okay, if that makes you sleep better at night. Anyway, he pies Matilda because he says Matilda's too opinionated. And it's like, Joey, you've been opinionated since the moment you walked into the villa. So please take several seats. Kieran wasn't happy about that. He wasn't happy. And I don't know. He has the audacity to say, oh, I haven't pied Grace because I've pied Grace so many times in my life. And you had Ruben stand up and say you didn't need to make that extra comment. All you could have done is spoken about Matilda and left it at that. And it's going, well, that's just your opinion. And it's like, well, you're expressing your opinion as well while you're pieing Grace. Okay, I'm going on my soapbox. Please don't take me down until I finish my rant. Anyway, I'm going to need someone to explain to me because this does not make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. And I need an explanation because next up is Josh. Before he goes to start kissing whoever he was kissing, he walked up to Mimii, held Mimi's hands and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then he went and he kissed Grace. So are the producers the ones driving this narrative? Because why is he apologizing if he doesn't have to, if he's kissing her with his full chest? If he has made this decision that I'm going to kiss Grace, why feel the need to apologize to Mimii? Why not stand on business and go kiss Grace and carry on as though nothing happened? I feel like, now I was going to say this later, I feel like the producers wanted the love triangle between Mimii, Jess, and Ayo. They couldn't get that love triangle. Then they tried to push a love triangle between Mimii, Josh, and Ayo, and that love triangle wouldn't swim. And so now they're trying to sort of bring in instigators to start a fire. That way these four people get upset, and when they get upset, they give them whatever storyline they're after, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We've had, you know, Mimii stand up and saying with her full chest, I'm standing on business. This is an easy decision for me. I am done. This is the person that I want, and that's it. We've had Ayo say, Mimii and I are done. Standing on business. I'm with Jess and I'm happy here. We've had Jess say she is for Ayo. We've had Josh say he is for Mimii. And yet we keep getting these stupid little glimpses where people become so riled up. They don't actually analyze the situation. Why apologize if you're going to do something that you know will upset your partner? If you don't care about how she feels? It tells me that the producers have asked for this and have pushed him to do this, and is doing this because this is something that he's been told to do. And so I don't get why people are so angry with Josh. Neither do I get why people are so angry with Mimii. I feel like the narrative is being driven by the producers, because Mimii and Josh were spotless up until this situation. They were spotless. Their love story last week was amazing, and the producers have decided to bring in this mess, whether it's because they want to try and eliminate one of the black couples or whatever they're trying to do, only they know. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. So he then decides to marry Mimii, and Mimii is in her feelings. You can see she's in her feelings. And I remember I saw this post said, when a woman gets mad, even the devil takes notes. And it's like, oh my God. Poor Josh, he bought a kitchen knife, a table knife, to a sword fight. And when Mimii retaliates, I feel sorry for him. Anyway, he decides to pie Jessie with a Y. And to me, it doesn't make sense. I'm questioning, what are we not being shown about Jessie with a Y? Because 3 guys pied her, and it was all the 3 brothers. So you had Ruben, Josh, and Ayo. All pied Jessie with a Y. Why are they pieing her? What are the producers hiding? Are they trying to make Joey Essex the winner? This is why they don't want us to see anything negative on her. What are the boys saying that they're pieing her for? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, Ayo then decides to kiss Jess. He decides to marry Mimii, and he actually makes it known. This is why I don't get why people keep saying there's feelings there, because he says, Mimii is the type of girl you want to bring home to your parents. If there was anything there that would lead us to get to that point, then I would have brought her home to my parents, which is him more or less saying, Mimii and I are done. And people with ears would hear this, but no, we need to push the narrative that he still has feelings for Mimii and Mimii has feelings for him. They want to meet in the terrace. Anyway, this is riling me up. He also pies Jessie with a Y, and it doesn't make sense because he's best friends with Joey Essex. So it's like, what are we not seeing about this girl? How horrible is she that all the guys keep pieing her? So it's the girls next, and Lolly kisses Connor. Surprised no, they're in a couple. She chooses to marry Sean, and she says he's husband material, and it's like, no, you've only been in for a couple of days. Don't worry. Wait until you see his evil side, because he can be. And she pies Ruben because she says he's very hyper in the morning. Yeah, I'm not a hyper person in the morning, but that's not a reason enough to pie someone. But hey, to each their own. Nicole decides to kiss Kieran. She said she would not want to kiss anyone else. She marries Connor, and then she pies Joey. Surprised? No. Matilda kisses Sean, marries Kieran, and pies Joey. Surprised? No. Grace sort of teases as though she's going to kiss, Josh, and it's like, why? Why would she do that? I think the producer spoke to Josh and made him kiss Grace just for the sake of it, because people were now asking, love triangle, and he just shook his head. So Grace chooses to kiss Ruben. She marries Connor. Apparently he's very good to the girls. I haven't seen it, but hey, it is what it is. And then she pies Joey. Surprised? No. Jessie with a Y kisses Joey. Surprised? No. She marries Connor as well. Apparently is very good to the girls. And then she pies Ayo. I think she chose to pie Ayo out of the 3 guys that pied her, because Ayo is close friends with Joey. And she's saying, I'm pieing you because Mimii, I was with her in Casa and I saw how bad it went and you could have handled things better. And it's like, why are we still bringing the situation up? This is why Josh gets mad. Next up is Jessie with a Y. She pretends to kiss Josh, and then she kisses Ayo. She marries Connor, and she pies Joey because she says she pied Joey because of the way he behaved during the game, and that upset Grace, and it upset Jessie with a Y, and we know they're friends, so that makes sense. And then the main event. I said it before and I'll say it again. Men need to understand that when you upset a woman, be prepared for when she retaliates, because when she takes over, it's a done deal, because Josh started this mess by kissing Grace. And had he kissed anyone, or had he kissed Grace on the cheek, Mimii would have taken it. But the fact that he actually went in on the kiss, he didn't kiss her the way he normally kisses Mimii, that makes sense. But because he did that, she decided to pay him back. And so she decided to go and kiss Ayo. And she said, we had a good thing, it's over and done with. And then Sean now asks, oh, you've got feelings. Everybody now chimes in, and Josh is now seething. And I'm like, Josh, you opened this door. And Mimii said, You have no leg to stand on. You kissed Grace. You've got a connection with Grace. So zip it. You opened the door. I stepped in. Let's go. And he's got no leg to stand on. He really has no leg to stand on. Unless the producers pushed him to kiss her, because he apologized to Mimii. Mimii didn't apologize. I wish she had apologized, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Mimii decides to marry Josh. He takes the ring, but he's not happy. She said, you've got a lot of husband material qualities that I see that any girl would be lucky to have you. And it's like, she's now pissed with him. That's why she's saying any girl. And it's like, why? She pies Sean. Yes, he's a shit stirrer. She's right to say he's a shit stirrer. Sean has been doing this since and is hiding behind Joey because Joey's more vocal. People have said Joey's the problem. When Sean is the main shit stirrer in the villa and nobody's calling him out for it, it's time for Sean to go home. We don't need him. We've only got a week or two to go. It's okay. He can go home. So after the game, there's a debrief. The guys sit all together. And then with the girls, they're split into two groups. I don't know whether the producers were hoping for drama. So they've split Grace, Jessie with a Y, Jess S, and Lolly in one group. Then they've Matilda, Nicole, and Mimii in a different group. And everyone is just debriefing. Everyone is sort of discussing their angst. You have, Jessie with a Y upset at Ruben because he says, oh, Ruben, I don't even get why he pied me. I think he was just being petty. There was no need for that. With Josh, she was upset. She said, why did Josh pie me? He said, I don't back Joey, but I only back Joey when he's right. I don't back him when he's wrong. And it's like, yeah, but still, he has an opinion. Something must have happened. That's why he's done that. Grace was happy that she pied him. And then you have Jess as saying she doesn't get why everybody else has moved on, but Sean is holding on to this. Oh, there's a connection between Mimii and Ayo, he wants to make the top three. The only way he can make the top three is if he takes out the black couple, and he will be in the top three because the other two teams are going to make it. Joe is going to make it with his fan base. Kieran is going to make it with his and Nicole's Welsh fan base, which means the third person, in order to get there, he has to get rid of 4 people. So his goal is to get rid of Mimii and Josh, Ayo and Jessie. That's his goal. And I don't know why people can't see this. You have the guys talking. Josh is furious. He is seething because he's saying, why did Mimii have to kiss Ayo knowing that they have a history? She could have kissed any other guy. I would have been okay with it. Why did she have to kiss Ayo? And it's like, but you lost the argument the moment you kissed Grace. Even if you apologized, you said you kissed her because she looked beautiful. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I know you're not allowed, if the producers have pushed you to do it, they won't allow you to say, no, I've been told to kiss her. But still, you have no leg to stand on. Even if you said, I'm sorry before you kissed her, you have no leg to stand on. And even the girls are like, he can't argue. Mimii, Matilda, and Nicole are saying, why is he upset? He opened the door by kissing Grace. And Mimii saying he's got a connection with Grace, so he did that. I just returned the favor. And it's like, you don't piss off a woman. And she's starting to say, oh, I'm starting to feel some type of way. And it's like, I think the two of you need to sit down, Mimii. I don't think it's anything that's to give you an ick or anything. I think it's the communication that the two of you need. You need to set boundaries. Just as you tried to set boundaries with Ayo, you need to set boundaries with Josh. And if anyone crosses those boundaries, then fine. If nobody does, then it's still okay. But you can't say that's giving you an egg. And for Ayo, the poor communicator, to actually ask someone that, what do you mean? You've screwed the pooch, because Sean kept going, oh, there's still feelings there. Because everyone was asking him, why do you keep bringing it up? Well, there's still feelings between Mimii and Ayo. And Ayo was like, no, I have put that to rest. I have moved on. I'm focused on my connection with Jess. So I don't get, oh, well, maybe there's feelings on Mimi's side. And it's like, why do you keep pushing the feelings? I don't get, yes, Ayo got upset because I said, what are you trying to say? Because you're saying I have feelings for Mimii. I cannot speak for Mimii. I can speak for myself. And I'm telling you, I don't have any feelings for Mimii. So where are you getting, oh, well, no, Mimii still has feelings for you. And it's like, he's playing a game. You all know he's playing a game. You all keep saying he's shit stirring. So why do you keep arguing with him? Why? And I don't get why Sean doesn't realize when enough is enough. He's trying to instigate a fight or something to get these people disqualified. The same way he got rid of Omar is the same way he's trying to get rid of these four by continuing this argument of, oh, there's feelings, there's a connection, there's feelings, there's a connection. That's all he's trying to do as far as I'm concerned. Oh God, I get so furious. I don't know. We'll see. So the Islanders, receive a text message that they will watch the England final against Spain. They're all excited, and it's nice that they gave them a treat. It really is nice that they were considerate enough to give them that treat. Kieran, obviously, he's Welsh, so he kept mocking them, and it was like, Kieran, don't. When the Spanish team scored the first goal, Kieran was celebrating and everybody wasn't having it, so they were happy when England scored, but then Spain, I think, won 2-1. And after that, they all went to get their drinks, and they then sort of went into their little group. So Mimii is sitting by the fire pit with Kieran and Nicole, and she's sort of saying that with Ayo, they don't know how to communicate outside of flirting, and because of that, she still has feelings. I blame Ayo's communication style, because Mimii had put that thing to bed. And when Mimii coupled up with Josh, this is when the problem started, because Ayo then pulled her for a chat and opened that door. And sadly, her best friend in the villa left after that. And so there's no one to be a voice of reason, because Nicole is encouraging her, go for what you think is right, go for what you feel is best for you. But Kieran is telling her, Kieran should have come out and said, after we sat down with the boys, Ayo told us that there is nothing there. He's squashed it. It's over. It's done. That way Mimii knows, because Mimii is still stuck in this, oh, we're flirting. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's nothing there. Oh, I don't know where we are. And that's because Ayo's communication style didn't tell her that we're done. And it didn't allow her to shut the door so that she could focus on Josh. For Nicole to say, oh, I know Josh is a good guy, but you have to put yourself first, and and it's like, the two of you should have asked Kieran that. Why are you saying that Ayo is saying it's done? Why are you saying that? You'd have got your answer. Mimii wouldn't have needed to embarrass herself. Everything else she's done afterwards. That's just my opinion. You should have told them the truth. I know it's not your place to speak, but maybe you should have run to Ayo and said, Ayo, you need to pull Mimii for a chat, because Mimii doesn't know you said it's over. Tell her it's over so that she can focus on what she's in. Otherwise, she's going to lose what she's in. She's going to lose what you had with her, and she's going to be left with nothing. And so I wish Kieran had been more clear, or I wish he had pulled people and told them, sit down. This is why I said this before in one of my other reviews, that when Mimii and Ayo had the boundaries conversation, they should have pulled in their partners. They should have pulled in Josh. They should have pulled in Jess and sat down, the four of them, had that conversation and ironed out everything and made sure that everybody was comfortable with where they stood in their couple, and then moved forward. But that wasn't done. And so now you have Chinese whispers around the villa, and people hearing certain things and others not hearing things, and other people encouraging situations that they know are completely wrong. Oh my God. Anyway, so you have Jess speaking to Ayo, and she's sort of saying, I don't get what Sean doesn't understand, because you can have feelings for someone and not be with them. That's still okay. Somebody needs to let him know that, yes, we're not saying that your connection with Mimii is dead, but what we're saying is it can be completely done. The two of you can decide we're done. And I was like, I don't have feelings for Mimii. I agree with Josh that Mimii should have chosen somebody else, because I didn't see her picking me to kiss me. I agree she should have kissed somebody else. And maybe on that part, Mimii was wrong. But Mimii was hurt by what Josh did. And because she was hurt, she decided to go to the gutter and actually bring him even more pain that he caused her, sadly, because he went low and she went downstairs to the gutter. And sadly, Ayo and Grace were victims of a situation that had nothing to do with them. May thunder fire the producers. Seriously, may thunder fire them, because they are the ones that are behind this story of Jess, Ayo, Mimii, and Joshua. This has nothing to do with these people, because these people countless times have said this is over, and as soon as the words out of their mouth are this is over, the producers run to the drawing board and come up with a way of getting it to be restarted, because they really want this love square, and this love square is refusing to be a square. So you have Mimii and Josh sit down, and they're both like, are you okay? If you look at their body language, they're not people that are fighting. That's what I'm going to say. I know I'm not a behavioral analyst, but I've watched enough Criminal Minds to think that I am. I've watched Lie to Me enough to know how to look at body language. And so what I get is I think the producers had a storyline they wanted with these people. And these people are trying to sort of cooperate as much as they can without hurting their partners. That's the impression that I get. Because when Mimii and Joshua sat down, they're both asking, are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, what are you thinking? And it's like, one would expect people to come in and go, I'm upset, this is what I'm thinking, and you'll be trying to speak over the other person. And so Mimii keeps talking about feelings. I don't know whether she's being told that you need to continue to bring up these feelings, because Joshua was frustrated at one point and he went, what are these feelings? You know, because you keep talking about the feelings. You keep saying you want to address an issue. I think the producers were hoping Mimii and Ayo would have more confrontations, or there would be a confrontation between Joshua and Ayo. But what's happened is these boys have actually got along. Yes, they're not best buds, but they actually communicate, because Joshua's quick to sort of sit Ayo down and sort of say, let's have a conversation, let's find out, where do you and Mimii stand? Is there a future or is there not? And Ayo said no, Mimii said no, and somehow it keeps being brought up. My opinion is it's the producers, because Mimii says in her conversation with Josh, it suddenly cut off, but she was saying, I need to sit down with Ayo to have a conversation, to iron out whatever these rumors are. And we never saw the end of that. And then next thing we see Josh sitting with Kieran. Kieran is Mimi's brother. Kieran's Mimi's brother. And he's trying to look out for his sister, because he can't tell her exactly what was said by Ayo. So instead he's running with the gossip of what she said to Josh. And it's like, I don't know how that's going to work. But at least Josh is sort of man enough to calm himself down, to pacify himself when he starts to sort of get agitated. And it's so cute and it makes me laugh. So you have Ayo pull Josh for a chat. And I'm actually surprised, because the last time Josh is the one who pulled Ayo for a chat. And Ayo said, you know, I want you to know that I wasn't involved in that kiss challenge. I was never going to pick her, so I was actually surprised that she picked me, as I told you before. And Josh is like, you know, you marrying her was a respect thing. I appreciate that. The kiss, if you had kissed her, then we would be having a problem. And the fact that they went deep into the well of their London accents when they were both, you know, wound up, it's just like, and people were agitated that, oh, why is he saying it's her loss? I think what's happening is, he's not meaning that he's the prize. I think he's meaning in the sense that, you know, she's possibly losing out on a love that she deserves. Because she said it. She said Josh has shown her, you know, how she deserves to be loved. And in her sort of continuing to chase after Ayo, it doesn't make sense. After all, Josh has pride. He still has to go back to London after this show is finished. And how will his mates treat him when they find out that he was chasing a girl who was chasing somebody else? And this is his agitation, this is his frustration. The sense that he can't just move on because he really likes Mimii. It's not like he likes her like a joke. He actually even told Ayo that, I really like this girl, like you can see a future with her. And Ayo was like, yeah, I saw it, you know, right at the start when you pulled me for a chat. I could tell that you're really serious about Mimii, and you really... So these two guys know that Josh really likes Mimii. Can everybody else, including the producers, shut up and allow these boys to sit down with Mimii? This is why I said Mimii, Ayo, Jess, Joshua needed to sit down, the four of them, and have a conversation. This would have been a teachable moment for people in relationships. But instead of that, the producers are looking for a love square because they can't get a love triangle from anyone else. So you have Matilda have a conversation with Jess. And I think this thing is now strategic. It's now people looking out for what's in their best interest, what is likely to keep them on the show and give them the opportunity to win. Because yes, she's heard from Mimi's side where Mimii said there are feelings there and we need to discuss and see whether we still do plan to explore that or this is the end of the road. And so for her to run and tell Jess, I don't think was the right thing. I think she should have asked Mimii to have a conversation with Jess. That's my opinion. This is why I've always advocated for a sort of a four-way conversation between these four people involved in this situation. And you can see that Jess is now feeling some type of way, and obviously she's going to have issue with Mimii. I hope she calls Mimii for a chat and they actually address whatever was said. So you have Mimii meet up with Joey in the corridors of the villa, and she tells Joey that, can you please tell Ayo that I want to have a conversation with him. Just tell him to come up to the terrace. It's nothing urgent. I just need to talk to him away from everybody else. And it's like, is this what she was talking about with Josh? Because she did tell Josh that she wanted to have a conversation with Ayo. Why are we making it seem like it's something that it's not? Why are we making it seem like, she's trying to get back with Ayo? That's the impression that you get. Which is really sad. And it's really staged the way it's made out to be. The Ekensu crawl across the terrace and stuff, and it's just like, why are we deciding to tarnish this girl's image? She's been spotless throughout. She's kept to herself. She's managed to sort of go through the hurdles of being on her own in the villa, the bullying, the isolation, everything. She's managed to stand up to herself and sort of managed to keep her sanity with her. Why are we suddenly saying that this is the way she's reacting? Why can't she find love and enjoy that relationship without you portraying her as a desperate person? That I did not like at all. I didn't like. That's terrible of the producers to even give that sort of assumption that, oh, Mimii is desperate for Ayo, that's why she's crawling across the floor and she's, trying to have conversations with him even though he says he's not interested in her. I don't like that. Anyway, I digress. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 36. Bye guys.